Hello and welcome back to another Ashes of Creation video, where today we're diving into the 8 different classes in Ashes of Creation. We're going to go over the summary of each class and highlight a few of their unique skills, so let's jump right in.
Yo, what's good with it? Your boy JD Nasty, and if you didn't know, I'm a big time gamer in MMOs. There hasn't been that anymore for me for the past couple, like 10 years, I want to say. So Ashes of Creations is something that I've been looking into for quite some time. So we're going to go into it and see what's the differences in 8 classes that they're going to bring to us at the launch of the games thus far. I know they just announced the Bard, I want to say last week, 2 weeks ago. So we're going to jump into that on a different video. You guys know, if you've been following me since Final Fantasy 11 days, Final Fantasy 14 days, I'm a Bard myself, and I love Bard classes. So let's just jump into it.
First, we have the Cleric, the primary healer archetype. Clerics protect and heal their allies, and they can resurrect the fallen as well. Their powers come from manipulating the essence, which allows them to mend life threads and wield destructive force against their enemies. Clerics can also provide offensive support, making them versatile in both group and solo play. So there's a couple key, cleric abilities. For example, we have Barrier, which sacrifices 25% of your max health to grant an ally temporary health. Blessed Weapon, which imbues the target's weapon with a radiant light, which causes additional damage and mana regen. Chains of Restraint, which would summon spectral chains to stagger and damage enemies, so a lot of different damage type spells. Then we have our more healing area spells like Divine Flare, where you place healing on the ground. Divine Light, heal an ally over time to prevent fatal damage. Resurrect, and more damage stuff like Smite. So, definitely going to be able to do DPS and healing. Now we have...
And I think the Cleric is like their main healer. I think that's going to be like, if you're from Final Fantasy, I'm always going to, kind of bring it back to the Final Fantasy days. I think the Cleric is going to be the white mage of the healing. I think that's how he's getting it. But this one also has like some damage dealing with this Cleric that seems pretty good. I don't want a healer that can just sit back and wait for my tickers to go, my health to go down and go back. Throw some damage in there for me from time to time. Throw some damage in there for me.
The Bard.
Oh.
Bards are non-healing support specialists who amplify the abilities of their party members through buffs. They enhance DPS, support, healing, and more by telling stories, performing dances, and singing songs.
Yep.
Bards are not just buff bots, but active participants in combat who can significantly boost the performance of their allies. Unfortunately, we don't have the specifics on exact ability names and what they do just yet. We will get that information at the end of this month when there's a dev update.
So we do have that now. This video that I'm watching is kind of old. We do have that now. I haven't seen that video just yet. I'll be dropping a video about it, but I'm hyped for it. Bard is everything for me. If you do it right, I'm in on it all the way.
Make sure to check out the video when I review that. But for now, some key Bard abilities that we're aware of include proximity-based buffs, which would enhance tanking, evasion, DPS, and healing abilities of allies within a certain range. We have skill shot buffs, which would be landing a skill shot, which would grant an ally a temporary buff. We have the musical instrument play, which you'll play instruments like flutes, bagpipes, drums, and fiddles to provide buffs to your teammates. And then combination melodies, so you'll do combos of dance, song, and story to create melodies that provide hard utility, support, and battle. Now let's talk about the fighter. Fighters are highly mobile, physical DPS specialists excelling in close quarters combat. They use a momentum mechanic to enhance their resistances and mobility based on damage taken and dealt, making them relentless and difficult to escape from. Some notable fighter abilities include Battle Cry, which would apply a riled effect to allies and shaken to enemies. Blitz, which is a charge attack, which would charge you towards the target, dealing physical damage. Blood Fusion, which would return damage dealt as health and mana. Brutal Cleave, which would perform a sweeping attack that damages all enemies in front. Or mobility skills like Leap Strike, which would leap to a target location, dealing damage and snaring them. And then like your classic Whirlwind, which would deal physical damage to all enemies around the caster while they're spinning. These are just some of the examples of skills they have. Next up, we have the Mage. The Mage is all about harnessing elemental and non-elemental spells to create powerful synergies and combos. Mages can manipulate elements to their advantage, versatile and devastating in combat. They can focus on a single element or combine different elements for maximum effect. Some key mage abilities include Arcane Circle, which places a rune of magic on the ground, granting arcane might. Arcane Empowerment, which increases your cast time and consumes spell charges for an extended duration. You have Blink, which would instantly teleport you 20 meters. Attacks like Chain Lightning, which would release a strike of lightning that can hit multiple enemies. Another example is Cone of Cold, which blasts a vortex of freezing wind, dealing ice damage. And other abilities like Fireball, which would hurl a ball of fire at target, dealing fire damage and implying burning. Things like Meteor, which you could conjure a flaming rock to hurl at the target.
So pretty much the mage is their DPS in spells. That's pretty much what that is. No physical combat. It's pretty much spells, and I'm damaging you up with. So that's dope. That's dope.
Location. Next up, we got Ranger. The Rangers are the masters of ranged combat, using bows and other ranged weapons to strike from a distance. They excel in mobility, control, and dealing significant damage from afar. Rangers can also use traps and other tactical abilities to control the battlefield. So some notable Ranger abilities we have are Airstrike, which would allow you to leap forward and fire 3 projectiles, which roots the target's hit. Skills like Barrage, where you'll fire a continual barrage of arrows at your target. Bear Trap, where you place a trap that damages and roots enemies. Camouflage, which makes you harder to see and untargetable at a distance. Disengage, you're going to perform a quick kick and backflip, snaring enemies. Headshot, dealing significant physical damage to a target enemy. Raining Death, which is like rain of arrows type deal, where you fire a dense rain of arrows, dealing more damage to distant targets. And abilities like Snipe, which would charge a powerful ranged attack, dealing massive damage. This is personally what I'm going to play.
Yeah.
I can't wait to play Ranger. Next up is Rogue.
Typically something that I go after as well as Ranger. If I'm doing support, it'll always be the Bard. If there's a Bard, I'm always going to be that dude to try to be the Bard to make your melee better, your range attacks better, your healing better, your MP, which is magical points, more. Just make everything better. If I'm doing a support class, Ranger is my long distance sniping ability class. That's what I jump on typically. That's just what I'm attracted to. And then if you know what Final Fantasy 11 is, you know what Final Fantasy 14 is, Samurai. I jump on to the Samurai abilities job class. That's me. That's my hand to hand on contact physicality. I love Samurai. So you got Samurai, Ranger, and Bard. Those are the 3 I love. So let's jump into Rogue.
Stealth, precision, and physically disabling techniques. They can apply bleeds, snares, and deliver high burst damage through well-timed attacks. Rogues are also adept at navigating the dangers and discovering hidden doors, traps, treasures, making them valuable in dungeon exploration. Unfortunately, we don't have any confirmed skills for Rogue yet, but we do know the key ability will be Stealth. When it comes to Rogue, Stealth will give you the true stealth that's not proximity dependent. It'll allow you to move undetected by enemies. Hopefully we get to see a update for the Rogue soon, and we get to see how it plays. Summoners are versatile, capable of shifting roles to fill gaps in a party's composition. They summon creatures to fight for them and can adapt to DPS, healing, or tanking roles based on their summons and secondary archetype. Unfortunately, we don't have any confirmed skills.
I haven't heard about this one yet.
But we do have some information from Steven about how they'll play and their abilities. There'll be summoning, where your summoners can summon up to 3 creatures, with the abilities appearing on the hotbar. There'll be pain transfer abilities, which will allow you to transfer a portion of damage or threat to their summons. Siege summons, which during sieges multiple summoners can collaborate and summon larger creatures, with the summoner becoming the summon. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Well, hopefully that ends up coming out into the game. That sounds really awesome. Now, last but not least, we have the tanks.
Here it is, tanks.
Are frontline defenders, excelling in damage mitigation, threat management, and protecting their allies. They can control the battlefield and force opponents into tactical mistakes. Tanks are designed to be immovable objects against unstoppable forces, making them essential in both PvE and PvP settings. So we have key tank abilities would include Absorption Field, which creates a field of absorption to mitigate incoming damage. Skills like Aegis, which will create a protective dome that transfers damage to the tank. Ancestral Bolas, which throws a magical web of bolos, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, that snares and generates threat. Grapple, which pulls a target to the caster with a hooked chain. Reflect, which would reflect the next incoming attack back to the attacker, and something like slam, which would knock back the target, applying staggers, generating additional threat. And there you have it, quick overview of the 8 different.
That was pretty dope. No, I'm definitely excited to see Rogue. I'm about to jump on and see what more we can get from Bard. That's my main one right now, is Bard. The Cleric, again, that's their main one. That's their main healing class. Right there is they're focused on keeping you alive. That's pretty much, and reviving you when you die. You're gonna be hearing more about Ashes of Creations with me. It's been years. Like I said, it's been years for a decent MMO to hit the streets. So, but this is your boy JD Nasty. I'll catch you out later. Peace. Much love to you.